Monday, November 10th, 2025, 3:21 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Where's the Pacific Daylight Time? Well, we called back. So I don't know. It's after the fall time change. Okay, let's make our random number generator list. Hey, what do we want to read? There twice because it's my favorite game. Now let's roll a D13 if that's the thing. $11. The Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. I have the book, but maybe it'd be better to do it on the screen. Ooh, it's also put as Bill sees it on there. Okay.
Six. Jim's story. This physician, one of the earliest members of AA's first black group, tells of how freedom came as he worked among his people. I was born in a little town in Virginia in an average religious home. My father, a Negro, was a country physician. I remember in my early youth, my mother dressed me just as she did my...
I think I want to read it. I want to have it on the screen. Page. In me. From childhood trauma to Skid Row drunk, this hobo finally found a higher power, bringing sobriety and a long lost family. When I rode into a small mountain town in an empty freight car, my matted beard and filthy hair would have reached nearly to my belt if I'd had a belt. I wore a lice-infested, grimy Mexican poncho over a reeking pajama top and a ragged pair of jeans stuffed into cowboy boots with no kilts. I carried a knife in one boot and a .38 revolver in the other. For 6 years, I've been fighting for survival on skid rows and riding across the country in freights. I hadn't eaten in a long time, so I was half starved and down to 130 pounds. I was mean and I was drunk. But I'm ahead of myself. I believe my alcoholism really began when I was 11 years old and my mother was brutally murdered. Until then, my life had been much the same as any of the other boys who lived in the small town. One night, my mother failed to return home from her job at a car manufacturing plant. The next morning, there was still no sign of her or any clue to why she had disappeared. With great apprehension, the police were called. Since I was a mama's boy, this was especially traumatic for me. And to make matters unbelievably worse, a few days later, the police came and arrested my father. They had found Mom's mutilated body in a field outside of town and wanted to question him. In that instant, the family life I knew was destroyed. My father was soon returned because the police had found a pair of glasses that did not belong to him at the murder scene. This clue led to the man who had so brutally killed my mother. At school, the gossip was vicious. At home, there was chaos and no one would tell me what was happening. So I withdrew and began to block out the reality around me. If I could pretend it didn't exist, it might go away. I became extremely lonely and defiant. The confusion, pain, and grief had begun to subside when an article appeared in a murder mystery magazine about my family's misfortune. The children at school started the gossip and scrutiny all over again. I retreated further and became angrier and more withdrawn. It was easier that way because people would leave me alone if I acted disturbed even before they tried to inquire. Because my father was unable to care for all 9 of us, the family had to be split up. About a year later, he remarried, and my oldest brother offered to take me in. He and his new wife tried to help me, but I was just so defensive there was little they could or anyone else could do. Finally, I took a job after school sorting soda bottles in a grocery store, where I found I could forget if I worked hard enough. In addition, it was a good place to steal beer and be a big guy with the other kids in school. That's the way my drinking began. It's a way to make the pain go. After several years of semi-delinquent adolescence, I was old enough to join the Marines. Leaving behind the origin of my bitterness, I thought my life would be better and drinking not so bad. However, during boot camp, I recognized that this was not the answer. The discipline, the authority, the tight schedule went against my very nature. But it was a 2-year stint, so there had to be a way to function in spite of the anger and hatred that steamed through me. Every night found me at a bar drinking until they threw me out. That got me through the week. On weekends, we went to a club nearby. This place was managed by people who drank as much as or more than I did. It became a constant customer. Arguments and fights were a regular occurrence. I managed to complete the 2 years, was given an honorable discharge, and was sent on my way. Leaving the Marine base behind and feeling homesick for my old environment, I hitchhiked back to my old hometown and returned to my brother's home. I soon found work as a painter for a construction company in town. By now, drinking had become a constant part of my life. Through some friends, I met a woman I really cared for, and soon we were married. Wow, that all happened in one sentence. A year later, our daughter was born, and eventually 2 boys. Wow, one more sentence, there's 3 children. Oh, how I loved my brood. This nice little family should have settled me down, but instead my drinking progressed. It finally reached the point where I was intolerable to live with, and my wife filed for divorce. I just went berserk, and the sheriff ordered me to leave town. I knew if I stayed, my anger at my wife for taking those children away from me would get me into more trouble than I could ever handle. Even I could handle. So once again, I set off. I left with my hatred, resentment, and the clothes on my back, this time for good. In the largest city close by I could be found, dead broke, drinking myself into oblivion on Skid Row. At first a day labor job provided for rent and food, but before long all the money had to go for booze. I found a mission where someone in need could sleep and eat free, but the bugs were so bad, the food so terrible, and the people were such thieves, I decided that it was easier to just sleep outside and that I really didn't need to eat so often. So I found that hobo jungles. Parked cars and abandoned houses made nice places for my bottle, my resentments, and me. Is that the title story? I bottle my resentments and me, yeah. No one dared to bother me. I was utterly bewildered at where life had taken me. Other hobos I met taught me the safest way to hop on a moving freight train and how to protect myself. They told me who were the easiest people to get a handout from and how to scam them. My biggest problem at that time was to find a way to get enough to drink to keep the reality of my life at bay. I was consumed by hate. For the next 6 years, I went from Skid Row to Skid Row. One boxcar headed in any direction was as good as another. I had no place to go. One thing about it, I never got lost because I never cared where it was. I crossed the United States 3 times with no plan, no reason, not eating half the time. I hung out with other misfits like myself. Someone would say they were hiring in Florida or New York or Wyoming, and off we'd go. But by the time we would finally get there, they would say they were not hiring anymore. That was alright, because we didn't want to work anyway. One scorching day, when I was in a desert town drinking, something unusual happened. I felt as though I had reached a point where I could go on. To get away from everyone, I managed to find some booze and started walking out into the desert, thinking, I'll just go until I die. Soon, so drunk I couldn't walk another step, I fell to the ground and moaned, "Oh God, please help me." I must have passed out because hours later I came to and found my way back to town. At the time, I had no idea what made me change my mind about death. Today I know it was that my higher power took over my life. By this time I was so wild-eyed and filthy, people would shy away from me. I hated the look of fear on their faces when they saw me. They looked at me as if I were not human, and maybe I wasn't. In one large city, I took to sleeping on the grates with a piece of plastic over me so I wouldn't freeze. One night I found a clothing drop box I could get into. It made a nice warm place to sleep and I could get new clothes in the morning. In the middle of the night, someone threw in more clothes. I opened the top, looked out, and shouted, "Thanks!" That woman threw up her hands and ran away screaming, "Lordy, Lordy!" She jumped into her car and screeched off. I was just about as sad a figure of man as possible when I jumped off that freight. I found an empty refrigerator car sitting on the sliding truck and took up residence in it. Here you could get welfare very easily, so off I went to apply. Now I could eat. It was my 3rd time in this town, so I headed straight for my favorite bar. Here I met a barmaid who drank like a fish and was as mean a woman as I had ever seen. But she had a place to live, so I moved in. And thus began the romance of a lifetime. I finally had a roof over my head, sheets, and food. All we did was drink and fight, but she worked at the bar, so it kept us going. With just enough cash for booze, we drank continuously for several months. Then, on my way to find a drink, I ran into one of my old hobo buddies, an older man. I remembered him as an excessive drinker, an alcoholic. And here he was walking toward me down the street in a white shirt, tie, and suit, looking marvelous. With a big smile on his face, he told me he'd quit drinking, and how he'd managed to do it, and how much better he felt. My first thought was, if he can do that, I can do that, and much better, because I'm only 33. He took me down to this club where there were some other recovered alcoholics. I drank coffee while they all told me how they had changed. It looked like they might have something here. If they could do this, maybe, just maybe, I could too. Their enthusiasm was catching. I began to feel excitement inside, but had no idea why. I rushed off to tell my new girlfriend about what had happened and how great it would be if we quit drinking. "You're nuts," she yelled at me. "You can just drag your beer back to your refrigerator car. I've got parties to go to." Although I seemed unable to transmit my excitement, I told her more. The next day, we both quit drinking. There are no words to explain why it happened or how it happened. It just did. It was a miracle. Every day we were able to stay sober was another gift from a higher power I'd given up on many years before. The next year we took a job managing a camp outside of town where drunks were sent to get dried out and sobered up. It was our responsibility to see that they had food and stayed out of trouble. Both tasks were almost impossible at times, but we kept trying. With some support from old-timers in AA, we lasted a year. This was a volunteer job. We had little money for ourselves. When the year was up, I went over the list of drunks who had been through the place, 178 in all. I exclaimed to my partner, "Not a single one of them is sober today." "Yeah," she replied, "but you and I are." And so, on that happy note, we were then married. My sponsor told me if I wanted to form a relationship with my higher power, it would be necessary for me to change. At a meeting one night, a member said, "It's not how much you drink, it's what drinking does to you." That statement changed my whole attitude. Of course, I had to surrender and accept that I was an alcoholic. I had a hard time giving up the anger at my ex-wife for taking my kids, at the man who murdered my mother, and at my father for what I felt was deserting me. But these resentments eased with time as I began to comprehend my own defects in character. I became acquainted with some monks in a nearby monastery who listened to my story with some amazement and were able to help me understand myself. At the same time, my sponsor and other old-timers who had taken us under their wings loved us back to rejoin society. What? At the same time, my sponsor and other old-timers who had taken us under their wings loved us back to rejoin society. Okay, I read it right. Gradually, the ice that was my heart melted, and it changed as my relationship with my higher power grew. Life began to take on a whole new meaning. I made what amends were possible, but I knew I would have to return to my childhood home to clear up that part of my past. But we were busy with our own paint contracting company now. And as the years passed by, the opportunity to go back home just did not come. As the months following the day we quit drinking had turned into years, I have become increasingly more devoted to this program to save not only my life, but my wife's also. Eventually I became involved in AA service and helped get a central office started for our groups. We both became active in general service and began traveling all over the state going to meetings. To my surprise, both of us were given the opportunity to serve as delegates to the General Service Conference. What joy we felt. One of my most memorable moments was when, at the opening of the conference, the chairman of AA's General Service Board said, "We are all gathered here tonight, not as individuals, but for the betterment of Alcoholics Anonymous all over the world." The years flashed back to when I was on the grates outside that very hotel, frantically trying to keep from freezing. I was overwhelmed by God's grace just to be there. One day, a friend of mine who writes for a living asked if he could write the story of my life for a magazine. He assured me there would be no anonymity problems, so I agreed. I had been sober for almost 25 years at this time and had no idea what God, as I understood Stanton, was about to do for me. My oldest brother, the one who had taken me in, just happened to subscribe to this magazine and just happened to read the article. Thus began an amazing chain of events that has altered not only our lives, but the lives of my family and many others. It is nothing short of a modern-day miracle. God has done for me what I could not do for myself. The article gave the name of the town I live in, so after my brother and sister-in-law finished reading the story, they called the directory assistants and phoned me. The first time we had spoken in more than 30 years. I burst into tears, and so did they. I can't imagine not talking to my brother for that long. They told me that after my disappearance following the divorce, my family had tried repeatedly to locate me. They were concerned because someone had told them I was either dead or had left the country. I felt bad that I'd worried them like that, but in my self-centeredness, it had simply never occurred to me that they cared that much. One by one, I talked to all my brothers and sisters in the next 24 hours. My brother gave me the phone number of my own daughter, whom I hadn't seen for 27 years, and I called her. Next, I talked to both my sons. Oh God, what an experience. I was so overwhelmed by all the memories and the lost years that it was difficult for me even to speak. I spent several weeks crying, as all the old hurts rose to the surface and were healed. Later, we had a big family reunion back in my hometown. It was a happy day for all of us to be together for the first time since we were split. My father had passed away, but all his children were there with their families, a large and joyous crowd. Finally, after all those years of wondering about my family, my higher power had acted through my friend to undo the tangled circumstances and allow me to make amends to the people who had been hurt by my goodness. I believe I am living proof of the AA saying, don't give up until the miracle happens. Let's see what number 10 is. Life with hope. And a brief history, a preamble, 12 questions. Let's read the story of the Lotus Eaters. 21. Make it bigger. I want to get rid of this. Screen.
You've gotta let me in. Listen to me, baby, don't you know? 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 You've gotta let me in.
this one and have fun. Life with Hope. The story of the Lotus Eaters. About 3,000 years ago, the poet Homer told a story about a man called Odysseus and his voyage home to Greece following the Trojan Wars. Odysseus and his men met up with many exciting adventures along the way, but the most relevant to us is the story of his landing on the island of the Lotus Eaters. The island was so beautiful that Odysseus wanted to stay there a while and rest up. So he sent out some scouts to determine if the natives were friendly. Odysseus waited and waited, but the scouts never returned. What happened was this. The scouts had indeed met up with the locals, the Lotus Eaters, who turned out to be very friendly. The Lotus Eaters even shared their food with the scouts, but the food, the lotus, was a kind of dope. And the scouts got wasted from it and forgot all about Odysseus, their mission, getting back to Greece, everything. All they wanted to do was hang out, eat lotus, and get high. Lucky for them, Odysseus came and dragged them kicking and screaming back to the ship. He tied them to their seats and ordered the crew to row like hell, in case anyone else might eat the lotus and forget the way home. The story of Odysseus is about more than just a Greek guy in a boat. It's about the journey people take through life and the obstacles they meet along the way. The story of the Lotus Eaters speaks particularly to us dope heads. As addicts, we were stuck in Lotus Land. We forgot our mission. We forgot the other adventures that awaited us. We forgot about going home. Luckily, each hid within us our own Odysseus, our own higher power, which grabbed us by the collar and threw us back into the boat. So now we're rowing like hell. We may not know what's going to come next, but we're back on our way through life again. Okay, how big is that? 14. Generate. I got 6. Faster than light. Now that I'm not reading, I can finally eat. You spot a small rebel ship nearby. It seems to have been refitted for transport rather than combat. It does not seem to want to engage you in your ship. Demand the surrender of their goods or avoid the ship. Let's avoid the ship. I'm not gonna be mean. That is just call. Send the crew to help. Wait, I lost someone? Oh my god. How lame is it? It just lost a crew member. Wow, that completely sucks. Ability of rifles? I think we're building rifles.
Hey,
Just let me know.
hey, Piper.
You hungry? These always keep me going.
I guess I was heading east. try to find some place to sleep. Ammo's good. How am I supposed to enter these buildings? Maybe up here? Just need a sleeping bag. Or a fender would be cool. Let's see if there's a bed in. Pretty bit here. I just forgot.
I can carry something if you want to. Who's there?
You guys gonna stir it up over nothing.
Why can't we live together? Why can't we live together? And love is a game. And love is a game. How long before I never? How long before I never?
There is a sleeping bag there, but I can't rest on it because enemies are nearby.
You're trouble!
227 experience.
Attempt to leave the dance floor.
Bottle? No, it's just an aluminum can. I think I'll eat some food. Let's sort by weight. How about iguana soup? And grilled radish. Ooh, bottles.
Why can't it be forever? Why can't we live together and love like this? And love like this. How long before
See, how do we turn on tip lights? There was one I didn't see. Let that explosion play out.
Shining light will be my guide. It leads me to a place where I don't need to hide. Heavens open up a door. My dreams so innocent and pure. You are beautiful within the rage of life. You are beautiful without the truth of life. Let your spirit capture me. My love is blind. You are beautiful within. You are beautiful without. You are beautiful within.
Yeah, we already did 10. We already did 6 too. Yeah, we did. 7. I was a teenage exopod.
My 2 sisters, and I wore curls until I was 6 years of age. At that time, I started school, and that's how I got rid of the curls. I found that even then, I had fears and inhibitions. We lived just a few doors from the First Baptist.
Look at this building. The ship's quarters are where everyone sleeps, eats, and hangs out. The private bedrooms are small. You share one with your parents, so colonists spend most of their time in the big common area. There's a lounge and cafeteria, and a creche where all the little kids and babies are raised communally. Do I have stress? Stress 62. It's nice to take some time off to chill after all the stress of school and work. Not to mention the mental toll of just living on this unpredictable planet. Looks like you're not the only one who needs some downtime. Some of the other kids are also relaxing in the lounge. Let's join Cal and Tammy. Cal is braiding Tammy's long hair and weaving in strands of little colored baubles. This This one's called a waterfall ray, I think, he says. I saw it in an archive vid, but it's really tricky. He's doing a terrible job of it, his short, clumsy fingers getting all tangled in the strands. Cal and Tammy sitting in a tree. Cal blushes a little and Tammy blushes a lot, but they don't stop what they're doing. It's just fun, Cal says defensively, and harder than it looks. You should try it sometime. I don't know what this is. But let's forget first steps. This week you had a few more bouts of deja vu, remembering what somebody is about to say or do just before they do it. Sometimes they actually do it, but not always. This morning you were sure Professor Howe was going to trip on the uneven floor in the cafeteria and spill his plate of hash browns. You even told Mars to watch. He didn't, though. As Professor Howe walked away, his hash browns safe for today, Mars called you a liar and a dummy. At night, your dreams are all mixed up with stuff that you know can't be real. You're chased by monsters the size of buildings, only to be saved by strange people you've never met. You're holding hands with someone you love. You're crying as you help lift a shrouded body into the colony recycler. Everything seems so familiar, but when you try to recall their faces when you wake up, they're smeared in your memory like wet paint. But what if? What if those things haven't happened yet, but they will someday? Anytime you try to tell someone they think you're playing a trick, or that you're sick and need to go to med bay, you eventually decide to stay quiet about your strange dreams. Why? You don't want people to worry. Your parents have so much on their minds already. You have a feeling that something is happening at geoponics that they don't want you to know. You don't understand it, but when they come home at night, they look really sad. You don't want to make that worse. If you just keep going to classes and staying out of trouble, it'll be easier for everyone, yourself included. You see Tammy sitting quietly near the entrance to the lounge. You've known her for, well, your whole entire life. Back on the ship, you were her study partner. Tammy was awful, just awful at Earth history. She thought Europe was the name of an English queen and the Pacific was the famous ceasefire treaty. Facts go in one of her huge ears and back out the other. No matter how hard you tried, she never seemed to improve. Ears perk up hopefully when she sees you. Hello, Mr. Wolf. I was hoping you could help me with some homework. Of course. Oh, thank you. She bounces up and down. You spend a couple hours trying to teach her the difference between exothermic and endothermic reactions. One makes heat and one absorbs it. Why is this so hard for her to understand? The thing is, Tammy never loses heart when she fails the test or gets an answer wrong. It's inspiring, even though sometimes you feel like you get dumber after studying with her. Expeditions. You step cautiously through the colony gates. Hey there, kiddo. Uncle Tonin blocks your way with a smile. I'm afraid expeditions is off limits for now. It's not safe out there for kids. You better toughen up so you can join the squads when you're older. Okay. Are these my parents? You find your mom hard at work setting up the greenhouses with a small construction crew. You've seen these plans pinned to the wall of your family's quarters for years now. These geodesic domes will house the more delicate plants from Earth. Spinach, tomatoes, maybe even fruit. She takes a swig from her canteen as you approach. Good idea. I don't find the music to be very loud. I've turned constant music on. Yet I don't hear anything. Looking for something to do? She asks. Remember, Mr. Wolf, you're responsible for your own schedule now that we've landed. You can decide how to spend your time, as long as it's productive. She points towards the engineering wing, in the back half of the stratospheric's severed frame. Professor Howe's still expecting you in class, but a well-rounded education includes practical application. You're old enough to help with the work around here. She claps her hand on your shoulder. I've got another minute. Anything you need to know? What's happening in engineering? Hal's teaching classes on life science, engineering, and humanities. If you pass all your tests, maybe he'll let you work there in a few years. Your father thinks you're old enough that school is optional. I don't agree, but I'll be honest with you, she says, gesturing to the fields. We do need every pair of hands we can get. If you want to work with me here in geoponics, I'd suggest studying life science. If you don't have a good grasp of biology and ecology, I'm going to stick you on shovel duty. What are you doing in geoponics? She looks down and nudges at a sprout growing between her feet. It's green, the color of earth plants. We're doing our best, she says, but it hasn't been easy. I just hope the potatoes and corn can handle the weather here, she says, glancing up at the sky. I hear it rains like hell in the wet season. She takes a long look at you up and down. You're growing fast, Mr. Wolf, but you're still too young for real farming. Instead, well, there's a lot of soil that needs to be hauled. Seeing your disappointment, she nudges you on the shoulder. Don't pout, it'll help build those muscles. You'll need them now that we're out in the real world, doing real work. Out here, we have to rely on our physical strength. She flexes her biceps. Your mom is really strong. Hello, my little potato, your dad exclaims, smiling warmly. What have you been up to today? Just hanging with my friends. That Cal's a good boy, he says. And have you seen Anemone? She's been out by the garrison playing sports ball. I think she's spent every day outside since we landed. He chuckles to himself. Guess this is what happens when you've got enough brothers to make your own sports ball team. He breathes deeply and looks slowly around. Fortuna is magnificent, isn't it? You nod. Seasons, he shouts, throwing his hands wide. I missed seasons. I love how he's dressed. That's a cool little vest thing. He's my age. They keep talking about going to school, but I don't know how to get there. Maybe I should look at the map? I think it's good enough for now. I think I'm gonna turn the music off because I don't hear it and I don't want it to confuse with my computer's music. No, I know which one I want to listen to. Bringing back the cheese. As Bill sees it. As Bill sees it, page 148. More than comfort. When I'm feeling depressed, I repeat to myself statements such as these. Pain is the touchstone of progress. Fear no evil. This too will pass. This experience can be turned to benefit. These fragments of prayer bring far more than mere comfort. They keep me on the right track, on the track of right acceptance. They break up my compulsive themes of guilt, depression, rebellion, and pride. Sometimes they endow me with the courage to change the things I can and the wisdom to know the things. That's from the Grapevine of March 1962. Sometimes I forget how long this thing's been on. Oh, number one. They're useful when you find a source of purified water.
Nice.
I see you before me, been dancing all around me. You're like no one before, just be
Hey.
by my
Where to?
side.
Sure, take a peek.
I see you before me, been dancing all around me. You're like no one before, just be by my side. Believe in me, feelings won't subside. Believe in me, for the best days of our lives.
Obituary. Wish it hadn't come to that. I can carry something if you need me to.
Many special people change. How many lives are living strange? Where were you when we were getting high? City walking down the hall, faster than a cannonball. Where were you when we were getting high? Someday you will find me caught beneath the night sky in a champagne supernova in the sky. Someday you will find
Getting hungry. What? Who's there? There to that human. Let's play.
And you're
You humans!
welcome to the stream.
Now suffer for your arrogance! Ah! Face me, you coward!
I think that's an upgrade. $58 damage versus 68. Slightly less accurate.
Someday you will find me caught beneath the night sky in a champagne supernova in the sky. Someday you will find me caught beneath the night sky in a champagne supernova, champagne supernova in the sky. Someday you will find me caught beneath the night sky.
You have to come out sooner or later. I want you to fight.
Someday you will find me caught beneath the night sky in a champagne supernova, champagne supernova in the sky.
Stupid mines everywhere. It's crazy. I need to get that perk. Need 3 points into sneak. Yeah, sneak is good. Alright, I think I'm gonna find a bed and save the game and quit.